What's up, everybody? It's Miss Pat, the Spiritual Life Passing Through, and I'm back at you with another video. Today, I'm going to be putting together some very, very powerful points that have happened in history, as well as some things that I have been seeing in the skies as far as our history is concerned as Israelites here in America. And I'm going to be connecting some dots about our history that no one may have thought about this way. You all know me. I think outside the box. I am the type of person that is, look at things from different points of views, and I'm trying to get you all to use your collective minds to be able to think from another point of view too, and look at a situation from another set of eyes. And what I'm going to do is revisit some things in history that we may need to look at differently as the people who had lost their memory but now are regaining their memory, and looking at different events that happened inside history from the point of view of the real people versus who it actually happened to. Now, I'm going to be talking in code in this particular video because of the fact of the sensitive issues that we're talking about. But I'm going to bring, I'm sorry, I got my stuff today. I'm not only going to bring, I'm going to bring some facts from Issues Museum, as well as facts from the Zohar about the astrological things that represent many changes that happen to the tribes of Israel when certain things happen in the world with the other nations. Okay, so what I wanted to do for us to right now is to go way, way, way back in the time. But first, we're going to deal with the astrological situations of how the house of Israel is handled when they are in exile and dominated by another nation. Okay, and I'm going to read out of the Zohar, and that is book 8. We talked about this in one of my lives, but unfortunately we kept getting cut off rudely and everything, so I'm bringing this lesson back. And I'm bringing this lesson back because recently inside the constellations right now in the stars, there is this same exact thing happening that happens inside the Zohar and has happened in the past, happening right now with the rise and fall of a nation. Okay, so right now inside of the Zohar in book 8 and page 5758, if you have the Zohars, you can read this for yourself. But I'm going to read a short little excerpt out of it because of what happens in the stars literally herald what is going to happen down here. Okay, and we have recently had a queen leave the world back in September, or more than likely she left earlier. They only announced her death in September so it can coincide with the events that were to come as far as their family being royalty and a new king being crowned. Okay, you have to understand there's a lot going on that the world does not understand. You have to be understand esoteric knowledge about certain things about the world in which we live in, as well as occult knowledge is necessary to understand what is happening in the world around you. And if you do not understand these things, then you just automatically go Democrat, Republican, British and America. You're gonna be completely lost in the sauce. Okay, but if you understand the esoteric meanings of things as well as the occult meanings of things, then you will see what I'm about to put forth to you as a case to be made, and understand how far this rabbit hole goes when it comes down to the tribes of Israel right here in America. Okay, so I'm going to lay my groundwork right now for you all, and that is inside the Zohar, so you can understand what's happening and what happens above, so below. Okay? So I'm about to show you what has been happening above so you can understand what is going on below. Okay? Now this is on page 66 and it's chapter 14 in the Zohar book 8, and it is underneath the area of the burden of Egypt. Okay? And it goes here. Whoever holds the children of Israel captive becomes accountable to God, and he punishes their celestial representatives and those who worship them below. Okay? God punished Egypt severely in spite of the relative good treatment given to the children of Israel at first. Okay? We may therefore conclude that all nations who have oppressed the children of Israel will receive punishment, including Rome, Assyria, and the nation that oppressed them without cause and stole their land. Sounds like America to me, but we'll keep on reading. Okay? Now, let's see. When it goes on, I'm sorry. Here we go. When it goes on, I'll read this part for you as well. It says, from this we learn that the rise to power of any nation is the result of the subjugation of the children of Israel, as seen in examples of Egypt, Babylon, and Rome. This is because the nation of Israel is equal to all other nations combined. Therefore, when a nation dominates the children of Israel, its celestial chieftain gains domination over the chieftains of other nations. Okay? Now we're going to stop right there, because when these things are seen in the sky, as far as what we saw in September when our queen so-called left, in the sky there was a moon there, the king's moon, that was being heralded, saying that there was going to be a fall of another nation and a rise of a new king. Okay? Now she tried to put her raggedy ass son, Prince Charles, up there as the king, but we all know that's not true. And the reason why we know it's not true is because the Zohar says it itself, point blank period. If you do not have the children of Israel underneath your subjugation, you can't rule the world. What nation has the children of Israel under subjugation? Who has been ruling the world for quite some time? In 2019, 400 years of America, of black people being, as they quote unquote wanted to say it, 400 years of slavery indirectly happened on this land. And the children were here, and America got to rule the world. All right? And now that same nation is having a problem. She's waning in her power. All right? And it said it would. After our punishment was up, after 400 years, the Most High was going to be revisiting this place. And the nation that had us underneath subjugation, he would judge. And when 2019 hit, the way he said he would judge them with the same judgments he did during Abraham's time, which is the apocalypse of Abraham. That was with all of those 10 things he judges nations with: plagues, configurations of cities. Okay? All right, he's been doing a lot lately. Same thing. Wild beasts will be their graves. All kind of weather changes and all kinds of things have been happening on this planet ever since 2019 left and 2020 began, at our new year, March 2020, the world was struck with what? A plague. All right? And ever since then, it's just been going down further and further downhill. Now the sky is heralding and proclaiming a new king is coming. Not one that's going to see America and all the other countries want to come together and do their own thing, because they know right now they feel like it's a free for all. Okay, this is the reason why we're going into this World War III, and everybody tends to think that this is Revelations acting out. But no, they know that the sky is saying America's time is over, and that's a wrap for her. So now you have places like Russia and China trying to vie for who's going to be in charge, who's going to take over. But as you heard, it is the people who dominate the nation of Israel and have them under subjugation. Right now in our world, Ish is not under subjugation of anyone. They have their own little land. They own majority of the things that are inside our world. They run the music business here in America. They run the film business in America. They do very well. I have yet to see a person from that group of people that have an active ghetto in any major city in the United States. I have yet to see a poor-ish to the level that they sit next to us in the ghetto. I haven't seen it. Okay? So the only people who are still sitting in ghettos are your brown people that they call black and browns. Okay? The only people who are still at the bottom, because the Most High told us that his people would stay in that state until he returned to recompense them. Okay? He didn't say he was going to recompense them with America helping and all the other places that give these people that are calling themselves ish right now, money and checks and billions every so many months to keep them going. Okay? Because for some reason, everybody's brainwashed to believe that if you're nice to these people, that you'll get blessed. Actually, they have it backwards. Okay? Because ain't nobody been getting blessed. All right? The only reason why America was allowed to do what it needed to do and succeed to this level and has succeeded and run the world for the short amount of time that it had was because they had a certain group of people underneath their thumb. And now their God, who had that group of people whose God had turned his face from them and let them stay in exile for 400 years, has taken their thumb off of them and looking back at his children now. And now he's saying, for the nation that did that to my kids, I'm going to judge you. And America is being judged. This is the reason why all of your nations are now going against her and having a damn good time telling her, okay? So I wanted to go back and find out how all of this, how these people seem to be sitting in our spot, because it didn't quite make any sense. And there was a thing that, the little guy with the strange mustache had to say. And the problem is that during the time, some things just didn't add up to me. And it don't add up still today, but we're going to put these pieces together because I started doing some things with my own little strange mind. I think outside the box all the time. And I was like, what was really the deal with the dude with the strange mustache? See, during the time in Germany when he was coming up in 1933, when he was coming on the scene and yada, 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 and screaming and hollering about what he wanted to do and how he saw his country going down the drain. Ish was doing really well over there in that part of the world in Germany. And Germany was really big into esoteric occultism and mysticism. So that means Mr. Man with the funny mustache knew some of the same things me and you know about right now. Okay? So he wasn't fooled by Christianity. He wasn't gone. Him and this other little lady, Bazelski or whatever her name is, Blavatsky, you all know who I'm talking about. She came up with the secret doctrine and things like that. We have these books. We've all read them. This was a part. He was a part in there. He was around in them circles of people. So they weren't literally blinded by the Pope and all of these folks. They knew what was really good going on. Okay, they were fully aware, and they also were fully aware of who Ish really was. Okay. Now, your boy in 1933, he's gaining power. He's getting more and more people who are following him. Germany is pushing him. He's rising inside the political world heavy. Okay? America's minding its business. It's 1920s, you know what I'm saying, 1930s. They just getting past the Great Depression and all this other stuff. Everybody's going through their own thing. But this dude is steady rising in the ranks, okay? Rummaging is happening over in Europe, all right? This dude is really gaining some serious power. And you can't gain power unless you got some supporters. And somebody's listening to you and agreeing with you. Now, he had his idea about the Aryan nation, that they were supposed to be likened to the Aryans who were forth underneath the, underneath the Atlanteans that came from the north. But the strange thing about history is that you start to find things out that the further you go back in history, the darker it gets. Color-wise. Okay? And he had this idea that somehow, and I'm going to read what his ideology was, y'all. Y'all going to find this real interesting. Because it's funny when you go back and look at the villain's point of view. Story gets real interesting then. Okay? Now, he said this. I will tell you, if you prefer the ideological glimpse into the history in accordance of basic principles of blood. We do not judge merely by artistic or military standards, or even by pure scientific ones. We judge by the spiritual energy which a people is capable of putting forth, which will enable it in 10 years to recapture what it has lost in 1,000 years of warfare. I intend to set up 1,000-year wretch, or whatever. And anyone who supports me in battle is a fellow fighter for a unique spiritual. I will almost say divine creation. At the most indecisive moment, the factor is not the ratio of strength, but the spiritual force employed. Betrayal of the nation is possible even when no crime has been committed. In other words, a historical mission has not been fulfilled. Now, this is how Ish says, this is a question. It says a statement by Mustache Boy gives rise to several intriguing questions, because see, they don't understand what he's talking about. But we understand exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about the ability to use your spirit, that after all that has happened to a group of people, a certain group of people with a certain bloodline, they can go ahead and call on a certain type of spiritual energy, and it will literally recapture everything that is lost, even after 1,000 years of warfare. Okay? So Ish is asking questions like, what was he talking about? He doesn't understand. It's like he's all about bloodlines, okay? It says what this basic principle of the blood, which Mustache Boy and this inspired Mustache Boy's new order. What did he mean by spiritual energy of the people, and how was it connected to their blood? Okay? Why did this dude envision his movement as generating a spiritual or even divine creation that would fulfill a historic mission? And was the relationship between the basic principle of blood and Mustache's boy fanatical hatred of Ish? He was on to something. See, he thought that he had the right people, because if he had the right people, the one who holds Yisrael rules the board. But unfortunately, during his time of when he called himself doing what he was doing, guess who had the real people? Guess who took over the world? America. See, he thought that since he had Ish, that he was going to be able to do this. But that wasn't. He had the wrong folks. Show you how the Most High plays chess, baby. He thought he had Ish. He thought he had the right ones, but he didn't. America did the whole time. He didn't find that out till much later, okay? But this is the thing that blows me about how all of this started, because like I said, in 1933, we have him blowing up and becoming who he's going to become. And I'd say by 1940, that's when he starts putting folks into the ghettos, Ish into the ghettos. By 1941, which is the killing starts of Ish, okay? And America takes a long time to get into this war for some reason. They said they didn't have no dog in this fight. This between the Europeans. We ain't got nothing to do with that. But then out of nowhere, something happens. All of a sudden, for no reason at all, not really even provoked, Japan just up and attacks Pearl Harbor. Once this man starts talking about these Ish folks and literally likening them to the devil and serpents and things like that. I mean, he really went in hard, saying that these people are, if you bring these people into your society, this and this and this and this and this is going to happen. And honestly, it did over here in America. I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say that it didn't, but it did. Okay? And the funny thing is that I just find it strange that out of nowhere, because y'all know how America gets down. She got to have some things going on in the background. America Karen always got some shit going on in the background that people don't know nothing about. Starting little situations to put herself in a really good position to be able to take something over. Okay? To be able to have things work to her advantage. She works in the background starting shit. See, this is when she was in her young years and she's nice and strapping, honey. And she had her power on and she had her gift of the sword that comes when you have the Israelites. Okay? All right? That sword of Esau she had. All right? Now, all of a sudden, Japan wants to go and bomb Pearl Harbor. But this is the funny thing about that whole bombing situation. America Karen don't take no time sitting up here. You do something to me, that bitch coming to see you next week, coming to see you tomorrow in an hour. She's flying out to fuck you up, okay? But this girl sat back till let's see, they bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941, and she didn't retaliate on Japan, baby, until 1945. Does that make sense? I found that real interesting. In 1941, the Japanese, in October, you know what I'm saying? No, December 7th, 1941, Japan attacks Pearl Harbor. December 11th, 3 days later, the United States declares war on Japan and Germany. However, ain't nobody really fighting over in Japan too much. But then, all of a sudden, in 1945, we dropped the atomic bomb. Okay? Now, how many years is that? 41, 42, 43, 44. That's damn near what, three and a half years? Now, we sit up here and we say, okay, you done set up there and attack Pearl Harbor, and it takes us really 3 years to kind of show up and do something. Something is wrong with this picture here. Really wrong. Some fishy shit going on. Sounds like the kind of stuff that's happening right now when it comes down to America playing little games behind the scenes, blowing up pipe bombs and things like that, saying it wasn't me. You understand? Going over here messing with Iran and all the other nations, causing ruckus and things like that, getting folks all getting a populace all crazy and wild and weird and shit. Okay? It's the same situations going on here. It's just that was then when most of us wasn't even thought about. And now it's us here now that we're seeing this. We're just looking back through time, okay? Now, today, strangely enough, Japan is an ally of ours. They having some problems over there with Rocket Man right now, okay? Throwing bombs and shit. But China is basically saying, oh, Hong Kong and all that shit, oh, we taking all of that over immediately. They all coming underneath one umbrella with us at the end of the day. America's gonna get the hell up out of our business, okay? But strangely enough, we dropped the bomb, 2 bombs actually, on Japan while they were sitting at the table of peace, trying to negotiate peace. We dropped shit on them, okay? We didn't even care what we dropped, and that's the reason why it was two areas that got hit. Okay? In 1945. Now, the thing about World War II is that we weren't doing that well over against the man with the mustache, with just the people that were, of the white persuasion. They had to go get the Israelites to win. The Red Tails, the Tuskegee Airmen, and things like that to win World War II. Okay? So, they won it with our people. They won the Korean War with our people. Alright? But America had control and dominance over the children of Israel. And this is the reason why she's in the place she's in today. And the reason why the little one with the mustache, it didn't happen, no matter how much he caught himself trying to kill as many of them motherfuckers off as possible. He thought he had it. He thought he was going into a 1,000-year reign, because the one who has Israel is going to what? Rule all the nations. And that's the reason why he thought he could truly do it. He knows what we know, you guys. And always did. That's the reason why they say, oh, he didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? The Gentiles say, oh, that, it's just like, oh, whatever that dude with the mustache said about the black people, that's not true. Oh, really? I beg to differ. How could it not be true? If it wasn't true, guess what? America wouldn't be sitting her ass to where she's sitting right now, nice and pretty, ruling over everybody over the entire world, baby. The dollar rules everything and been running everything for quite some time, you all. She came into her fullness once they got rid of that dude over there running his mouth. Uncle Sam needed you. Sammy needed you to join the army. And she wasn't going to win unless she had the Israelites fighting for her, baby. Okay? So let's really examine the evidence that's sitting on the table right now. Because if Mr. Man was going to win it, he would have won if he had the right folks, right? He had them. Hell, they want us to, that was their rough time, only lasted 5 fucking years, y'all. Our rough time in America started in 1619. And has lasted all the way to 2019. We getting killed in the street and everything else that you could possibly imagine. All of our nations that were here. You have Haiti. You have, Puerto Rico and all of those places completely and utterly taken over and colonized, okay, over the years. Hawaii, colonized. All of these different places. Mexico, colonized. They took over and did many things, y'all. They've got to rule all over the world. Australia took it over, colonized. You understand? The Tasmanian people damn near killed, knocked out of commission altogether. The transatlantic slavery situation that happened. Trust me. Our takedown took a minute to happen thoroughly. But the ones who enslaved us, the main ones, were able to take over the entire world. That's who you know truly has the Most High's people. Who's been running everything? Whose money has been handling everything, y'all? It's right there in front of your face. But we've been too asleep to see it. We've been being told history by a bunch of motherfuckers that don't even want you to know. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to go back. We are told about the Holocaust on a regular. That was 5 fucking years. You went through what? 10 of having a hard fucking time and motherfuckers talking shit and doing shit to you. You went into a ghetto for what, a couple of years? Black motherfuckers been in ghettos for literally generations upon generations and still got a ghetto today because my black ass is in it right now. So, since when are the Most High's children running around with entire jeweler's robe and all kinds of, you know what I'm saying, Paramount Pictures, Warner Brothers, all these other places, and all of this running this kind of shit? We can barely do anything other than entertain the world with our abilities. Sports, singing, dancing, anything else somebody else is going to take credit for. It's very clear who we are. It's very clear everybody knows who we are. Now, Ish is Ish. They converts. It is what it is. Converts and who the children truly are two different things, baby. A convert is a person said, this is what I choose to do as my religion. Okay? The Most High's children is an actual race. And clearly, the man with the funny mustache knew exactly what we were capable of, baby. But now, the sky is heralding the fall of the play people who kept us underneath their thumb. See, they said first you see it in the sky. That's what these eclipses are. We got one coming up next week on the 8th of our so-called election. Okay? We already had one already. On the 25th, that the energy right around all the way up until Halloween. A lot of people getting taken out. Situation over in Seoul and things like that. People dying left and right. We got all of this strange dying happening behind this jab that don't nobody want to talk about. 25-year-olds dying of heart attacks 2 years after, even though it was a strange little study that came out that said a lot of things happened to the animals 2 years after they got that jab, that they all died. Now we're seeing all of these people die. Okay? There's a lot of stuff going on here. But it was terrible what happened to Ish. But Ish didn't serve 400 years of hell. No. And still getting killed in the street to this present day. I don't see that happening, do you? But you get mad at somebody like Kanye for telling the truth. That's the truth. It's really sad when you look at it. But no matter what they try to do, Queen tried to sit up here and say that she passed away, right before the new king was supposed to be anointed. She passed away just in time. That's a lie. She had been passed away when she got COVID earlier in the year. They only announced it to the world so it can look as though it's as above, so below. Ain't nobody stupid. The only difference is that since she was one of the 70 shepherds, one of the last 70 shepherds that was on the planet, as soon as she died, things started to change. The Europe is inside of an uproar right now, baby. Europe is going crazy. Germany is about tired of kissing America's ass because they finna freeze this winter. And next year looking even worse than this year. See, some truth's gonna start spilling out before it's all said and done, because it already is. Like I said, the boy with the mustache thought he had the right people, y'all. And he found out later on, as he kept looking into the history, because he was looking for many things. He was trying to find all kinds of different kind of artifacts and things like that to prove that the Aryans were the superior race. But the more he found, the blacker things got, baby. That's the reason why that statement came out of there, out of nowhere. And they say he never said that. It's bullshit. Because if he didn't, then how would he know that America would take over the world, baby? See, sometimes you got to go back to the villain and find out exactly what the villain was thinking, because he had some real fucked up shit in his mind. I'm not going to sit up here and say the dude wasn't a little fucked up. He was fucked up. He didn't like us people, black people at all either. But when he found out who we were, he felt a certain type of way, because then he realized his plan wasn't going to never work. Can't reign for 1,000 years without us. And somebody already had dibs on us. And somebody had to shut him up so we could stay asleep. See, we've been asleep for quite some time. We ran and been in their wars. Hey, we just, you know, my grandmama was a slave, my peoples, and we just trying to make it the best way we can. See, we went to sleep. All that other knowledge, all that esoteric knowledge went to sleep with us. And now it's waking back up again. See, they were fully aware of the spiritual levels that we can go. Oh, they could see it inside church. That's the reason why they had you in church. So you can raise that energy with your singing and your and all that stuff. Helped out this place and the people here in this place. Now that many of us are waking up, it's over with now. And as you can see, the whole entire kingdom of America, American, is crumbling. And it's not going to stop crumbling. So I thought I'd just come by and redo that lesson so we could all understand that our redemption is near. The king that is coming, oh, he's going to crack them skies, baby. These people are fighting each other because they have no choice. Oh, it's getting real heated now. You've got Rocket Boy. He shot off over 24 missiles today, y'all. Okay? Dude ain't playing over there. They all fighting each other. Iran and Saudi Arabia, they got the Sand Boys pitting against them other boys over there, the Dothead boys and stuff like that. They got all kind of stuff going on. They causing problems. America's over there causing problems. She's doing her same 1-2 step. The only difference is the old girl is old and everybody knows that move and that dance step. It ain't working this time. People beginning to see through it. People begin to see her in the background manipulating situations, and they starting to ask questions, y'all. Things are getting real different around here than it was back in 1930. Okay? America is no longer the high standard anymore. People are starting to look at other ways to work around her. Russia and all of them can't consider themselves trying to find out who is going to be that girl that's going to reign, and it will be none of them. Because once somebody kicks off one of them nukes, we're going to start saying hello to some folks that we ain't never ever in our lifetimes ever seen. Okay? Keep your eyes to the sky, y'all. This story's just starting. This thing's just starting to heat up. But I wanted to bring that to you all and see whether or not you all would get edified from that. I'm sorry it got broken up yesterday, but maybe I needed to do this clearly. Okay? So I'll see you all next time. Hopefully I can get back online again and do another live, but we'll see what happens, y'all. You all take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.